Welcome to Nightlight. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and, with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Nightlight, a reminder that you are never alone.
Welcome to Nightlight, everybody. Thanks so much for sharing your evening with us. We're looking forward to tonight, especially because Michelle's here. First, I want to thank Ken Quiethawk for his amazing introduction. You can find him at nativestorytellers.com. He and his wife are native storytellers, and it's an amazing way of preserving history. And if you've never experienced any of their stories and their histories and their mythologies, you've missed an amazing part of history. So I encourage you to check it out, experience it, and be enlightened. Saying that said, Michelle and I are here tonight to enlighten you, hopefully, entertain you for sure, and spread some love, light, and laughter wherever we can. Michelle, welcome back to the show. It's been 2 whole months.
Has it been that long? I guess so, isn't it?
Yes,
time flies, doesn't it?
I decided to come down with bronchitis, and then Blog Talk decided to have glitches of their own. So yeah, it's been 2 months.
Mind blowing, isn't it? Ah, well,
I'm sure it doesn't lie.
it definitely does that. So, but I'm here. You're here. We're doing it.
Yes, we're back in the saddle, so to speak. And, you know, I was going to ask you, we briefly were talking before the show about, to me, I'm experiencing the changes of the seasons so much more profoundly than ever before. Now, I know we're in a cycle that probably has been repeated millions of times, but in my lifetime, I don't remember the storms that we've been having, nor the shifts in temperatures and stuff. Is there anything astrologically that would say that, this was happening, or is it just nature doing its thing?
Well, it's not really, I can't say that it's anything real specific astrologically, but then I'm not really a weather astrologer. There actually are people who are weather astrologers, and they would probably have a lot more to say than I do. But I will say this, where we are in time, Jupiter is in a certain place, but Saturn and Pluto being where they are in our lifetime, we really have never seen Saturn and Pluto together like they are now. And they are in Capricorn, and Capricorn is a cold sign. So Saturn, which normally is a cold sign by itself, Pluto is not necessarily a cold sign, it's a transformative sign. So you could say astrologically that there's something happening in terms of the planets activating the season, but I don't want to jump to that conclusion. I want to say rather that as we are moving forward, we have a spherulic activity taking place that is to change everything. And right now, with Jupiter and Pluto together, Saturn and Pluto together, and Jupiter will join them early next year, and all three of them will then be in Capricorn together. it's about structure, and it's about a transformation of structure. And if we see Saturn as part of the issues of climate, then we have a transformation of climate as well. Jupiter will expand everything, so whatever we're seeing now is just going to get blown up and be seen even more. It'll become even more obvious. And by the time we get to the Aries ingress, March the 18th of 2020, Mars actually adds to this picture. So it's a conglomeration. It's quite a statement for that 3-month time period. And, of course, that's the time period from March the 19th or 18th to June the 21st. That is the period where activity with war has been the most pronounced of any other quarter of any year in the history of the world. So
now I have a question about that. You say war, and of course everybody thinks of bombs dropping and things blowing up. But can it also be a war of conflict within the person themselves? Does it absolutely have to be a physical war? Can it also be a war of philosophies?
When we talk about the natal chart, there's tons of stuff that could be going on that cause a war internally for the individual. When anyone who's on this call, and my reference to March the 18th of 2020, at that point in time, we have, Mars, Jupiter, both around 22 Capricorn, and we have Pluto right in the same zone, maybe 23 or 24, and then we have Saturn at 28 or 29. So if a person who's listening knows their chart at all, they can be activating something in their chart. For example, with that in Capricorn, anyone who is a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs are Capricorn, Aries, Libra, and there's my brain again, Cancer. So you've got anyone who's born late in those astrological or zodiac signs, or has maybe their Mars at that degree, or their moon. They're going to have all kinds of issues of conflict and challenge that it's not going to be an easy period of time for them. If you have these two planets that have been standing there doing so much transformation in the world for the last year and a half, Saturn and Pluto together in the 20-degree zone, anyone who has a sun at 20 degrees or Mars or the moon, or those are key, and Mercury, they're going to be experiencing major transformation of their thought process or their energy process or their feelings, their emotions. It could be that they are having a real challenge with family. There's a lot of things depending on where a person's planets are in their chart. The only thing... Go ahead.
It's basically we're coming into tumultuous times.
Oh, well, we've been in them probably for the last year and a half, and next year is, Saturn will finally go into the next sign, but it won't be until after the ingress chart, which takes place in March. So sometime April or May, it finally goes into the next sign. And that doesn't mean it stays there, because it's famous for going back as well. But then you have where we've gone for the last couple of years with Saturn and Pluto together, then we're going to have Jupiter and Pluto together all year, most of the year next year.
Well,
so that
said, we have people waiting.
Yeah, that's an explosive statement, because Pluto is transformation, but it's also explosions, and when you add Mars to it, there are very, very large explosions. So between March the 20th or March the 18th and June the 21st, there will be explosive things, and depending on where that ingress lands in, it doesn't land on an angle in the U.S. chart, but that doesn't mean it doesn't land on an angle in California or in Oregon or Massachusetts. It doesn't mean that. You'd have to look at them for those cities to see where these major explosions are going to take place, and what kind of explosions will they be. Depends on where it lands in their charts. So.
Well, it's going to be an interesting time, that's for sure. But that said, we do have people waiting here, and let's see if we can spread some light and some sunshine and some positive vibes towards them. We have Deidre here. Hello.
Hi, Deidre.
Hi.
What's your date of birth?
April 4th, 1966.
And time of birth?
7:39 a.m.
And location?
Torrance, California.
Torrance. I wonder how it got that name. Oh, let's see. Torrance. Yeah, I that's always been an odd name to me, so I just wonder. I don't know if you know the
I'm
history.
going to Google it. I don't.
Yeah, it's just kind of an odd one. It's not like myth or something where we really came from.
Right.
Okay, so what did you want me to focus on? Is there anything in particular?
Well, I am in the midst of transformation. All areas of my life feel like they're in flux, but moving forward, I need to be able to provide for myself financially, and it just seems like any career that I look into, nothing from the past and nothing I look into sticks. And I feel like I'm in a transformation and want to step into something new, but I don't quite know what it is that would best suit me.
Well, we'll just talk a little bit about what's going on. For the last couple of months, last 3 months, the moon has been traveling over. You're about to have a lunar return, is what I want to say. Okay, but for the last months, the moon has been traveling over your Pluto and Uranus in the house of creativity. That's also the house of investments, where we invest in ourselves. So, and it's in Virgo, and those two planets are in Virgo in your natal chart. Your natal moon is actually in Libra, but having the moon in Virgo, our progressed moon, we find ourselves like having this need to do the right thing, need to have the perfect combination. It's got to fit all the little details that you're looking for, and it can be challenging because normally Spirit has a way of working with us, and it doesn't look like it fits all the little nooks and crannies, but as it kind of floods into the space, it does fit. So you have to be careful not to let your emotions dictate what you're feeling or thinking or looking at. Pluto is in your ninth house right now. It's at 20 degrees of Capricorn. We were just discussing this. And it is at 14. And you were born with Saturn at 22 Pisces, and your Mercury also at 22 Pisces. And Saturn is the ancient ruler of your midheaven, which you have your midheaven in Aquarius. So as Saturn continues to move forward, and Pluto, of course, is ripping it all up. Pluto is saying, let's transform this career of yours. Let's transform it. And having Aquarius in midheaven, you're not a person who necessarily puts roots down in a career and wants to stay there forever. Uranus normally says if it doesn't have good variety in the career itself, it's not going to stick for very long. It'll stick for a while, but it won't stick for as long as I might like it to stick. So
yes.
And you were born, of course, with Uranus and Pluto opposing Saturn, so there's this balancing act because Uranus is the other ruler of this midheaven. So there's a part of you that says, but I have a dream, and then there's another part of you that says, but I need to support myself, and then you go back and forth. I want to be creative, and but I got to support myself. So that your belief system isn't allowing yourself to realize you can be creative and can support yourself. If you don't, if you go for it, you'll never understand that or realize that. And so what's actually happening is Pluto is going to have Saturn catch up to it in January, and when it does, you have that beautiful sextile and Saturn says, come on, we can do this. And I would think that in January you will probably finally find something that you'll say, wait, this is more aligned with my dream. It just isn't here yet. So if you kind of sustain yourself for a couple of more months, it should manifest in late January, and maybe even early January. But January is the time frame where you're going to get the most help to have this manifest. And what's kind of great is we're just talking about how Jupiter is going to follow up, and it will. As it follows up, it's going to make that sextile. It's not in January that'll make it, but I'm going to move forward just to tell you when it will actually get up there. And here's where it does. Here it starts to apply, and that's in the beginning of March. So when it makes that sextile, what ends up happening is it expands your possibilities. It expands your dream. It expands your options. So that's kind of exciting. And in your chart, Jupiter is the ancient ruler of your house of wishes and dreams, the one where your Saturn is deposited and your Mercury. And so it's basically saying I can expand your dreams. I can give you more. You'll have more opportunity. So that's exciting. And I'm looking for your natal. Why do I not see it? Oh, because it's all kind of by itself. And the good news, of course, is when Jupiter goes a year later, it will go into Aquarius. So in 2021, around this time, it will maybe just a little bit later, probably around the mid to the end of March of 2021, Jupiter will start applying a trine to your natal Jupiter, and there you will not only feel good about whatever this career is, but you're going to get the raise you're looking for. There'll be an opportunity for an increase in money. Okay.
So sit tight. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I do have a creative product that I'd love one day to manufacture to do, again, it goes right back to what you're saying about my creativity and yet making a living. Should I be working on this creative product?
You have to just say to yourself, I'm doing this. I don't know too many creative people who are capable of just ditching their whole families and walking away and starting their creative process, under a tree. Most creative people have to find a way to squeeze it in between everything else, and then eventually it goes on its own, and then you're able to just go full time into it. That's the way most people do it. Some people, I guess, are lucky, and somebody just gives them a lot of money. And you can go down that road if you have a prototype. You can go out and start raising money for yourself. It's not unheard of, and it certainly can be done. It just depends on, how marketable, and if you can write a good prospectus so that you can sell an investor. They need to be able to see a 5-year projection as to how much money can it make, where is the market. This day and age, you have the ability to do that with Facebook, because you can, on Facebook, go ahead and delineate your target market and test advertise to them and see what kind of response you get. So, and it doesn't cost you. So I wish you tremendous luck with what you do. I mean, if we looked further at this, I could probably tell you what kind.
I'm going to get in touch with you privately. I'll find. I went to your website, so I'll go to your website and then I'll contact you there.
Yeah, give me a holler, and we can set an appointment and really talk to you.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you,
Good
Michele.
luck,
I really appreciate it. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it always is. I love it when people do take that little jump, that little leap to manifest what they want. It takes a lot of courage, but if you don't the leap, a lot of people have to fall a lot of times before they get right to where they need to go. Why? Because it is a complicated thing getting a product off the ground. But I got to say, in this day and age, compared to 40 years ago, it's a lot cheaper to give it a try. You can leap a lot. You can leap a lot on $200 in this day and age.
When you look at Einstein, who found 1,000 ways to not make an electric light bulb, and
that was Edison, you mean Edison? Yeah.
Edison, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we've got Kimberly here. Hi, Kimberly. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi, Kimberly. What's your date of birth?
It is November 5th, 1970.
Happy birthday to you. It's coming up. What time were you born?
8:04 a.m.
And where were you born?
I was born in Talladega, that's Talladega, Alabama.
Did you say Talladega, Alabama?
Talladega, T as in Tom,
Got it.
A-L-L-A. Okay.
I probably will have to look it up. A-L-L-A.
D-E-G-A, Talladega.
Okay, Alabama. Let's see if my computer finds it. Hey, it said lookup was perfect. So that's pretty cool. We did good. All right. So let's go take a look. And what is there something in particular you want us to focus on? So.
Yes, career.
Career. Okay. Well, right at the top, we see that you've got Virgo at the midheaven. So that's usually a person who in career works in a service kind of career, and it can be anything from working in a medical field, to could even be human resources. It's a service kind of career. It could also be in charity or for the military, for that matter. But when we continue to look, let's see what you've got. You've got Pluto in that house. You've got Mars and Uranus. And Pluto's at 28, so where it's in 28 Virgo, so Pluto in the sky is moving into a position where it is going to be trining that Pluto. So you may be finding that you are in a space where you're getting ready to transform that career. So normally when Pluto makes a trine to Pluto, it's going to give you an elevated experience, so a promotion, transformation that leads to something where you're in a more powerful position than you have been. And, of course, Saturn is going to make the trine first, and it will make a trine in late March. So that opportunity, that opens up at that point. Let's see if we can define it. It's an opportunity for a very secure income from the looks of it. So Saturn rules your house of money, and that's a statement that says I have an opportunity to change, but to have a more secure income. And let's see here, but shortly thereafter, you have Jupiter getting ready to make that trine also, and that's in March. When did I say that was? It's going to be later than that. No, it's 28. You've got 28 degrees. It's probably going to be November of next year. So that trine, when that activates, it says that you probably will get a promotion at that point, because it says that there will be more money coming in, is the statement. An opportunity arrives to have more money. So, I probably should go forward and look at that, because it's a good time for you to be aware of, wherever you're working, that you would ask for a raise or ask for a job that is going to give you the money you really want. So here it is in May. The first time. That's the first time it makes the trine. So it could be an opportunity that'll come up then that might not go through, or that your boss might say, well, you know what, if you do this or you do that in the next 3 months, then you're in for that raise that you want. There could be something, because what's going to happen is then Jupiter goes retrograde, and once it goes retrograde, it has to turn around and go back again. And so when it comes back into position is when you're most likely to actually get the money, and that would be December of 2020, the early December, like the 7th. And it could even be a little bit before then, because that's a degree applying, and it could be as much as 2. So figure any time between Thanksgiving and Christmas of next year. So
Okay.
that's coming to you, and it's interesting. Saturn, who should already gone to the other sign, went retrograde and came back, and here it is at 29. So even Saturn is pulling for you. So it's a better job, more secure job, and at the same time it pays you more money. And you've got a lot going on there because your progressed Jupiter is at 26 Scorpio, so it's active at the same time. All of these are active. And because your progressed is at 26, this is even active sooner. So probably November of 2020. So you've got good happening, and you know, you were born with Pluto in that house, in the house of career. So I don't know that you stick in the same career exactly, because Pluto usually, wherever it is, it's a disruptor. A lot of the time we can go with Pluto in a house, we'll go for 3 years where something is going really well, and then all of a sudden everything changes, and you got to build it again. You go for 3 years, and it goes really well, then you got to build it again. So I don't know if you've experienced that in your career or not, because it depends on where you're living now. In Alabama, that was close to your midheaven. If you've moved away from Alabama, then you may have mitigated that. Did that make sense to you, or did I say something that was kind of Greek?
Yes. No. Everything made sense.
Okay, good. Good. My friends tell me a lot of time I speak Greek, so I need to ask that question. I'm always saying, well, you got that right, or you know that, right? And they look at me and they just shake their heads. No, we don't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
All right,
much.
good. Well, I am glad you asked. Is there anything else, or are we good?
No, we're good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
you have a wonderful night. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, we've got Lisa on the line. Lisa, you there? Hello, Lisa?
I think we lost her, or she's on mute and doesn't realize it.
Yeah. Well, we'll try coming back in a little while and see if she's unmuted herself. Okay. We've got Maddie here. Maddie, you there?
Hi. Yes, I am. I'm Michelle.
How are you tonight?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Great.
You guys make me great.
Michelle, I wanted to know if I give you my grandson information, would you give me a little bit about what's going on with him?
Sure, no problem. What's his date of birth?
September the 19th, 2006, and the time was 10:02 p.m. in Decatur, Georgia.
10:02 a.m., did you say?
p.m.
10:02 p.m. And
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, in Atlanta. Okay. I accidentally, heavy fingers. I got 2 M's to the PM, and my computer said, "Are you crazy?" Yes, my computer can say that. Eventually, they'll have them actually speaking to you, and I'll really get rattled.
That's gonna be weird.
Yeah, you guys will be listening, and you'll hear it. You lost your mind again? Okay, so let's take a look. And what's your grandson's name? Did you say grandson? You did say grandson, didn't you?
Yes, his name is Lawrence.
Maury. Okay, so what do you want to see about him? He's still a baby. He's not very old. It's 2000. Oh,
well, he's just turned 13, so.
Oh yeah, that's not such a baby anymore, huh?
No.
Oh wow.
No, he's not. You know, he's getting to that manhood, and I just want to see what did you see? Just where his head is.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at what's going on in his life. You know, he's got a lot going on in the 5th house. He was born with a lot of creativity coming through Virgo, so you know he has a lot of abilities probably to be a designer of some kind, an engineer or or a medical person, or there's a lot going on there that says that he understands details. He picks up details really well. So, and his moon is 0 degrees 56 Virgo. So, if he were here and I was talking to him, I'd say you have to be kind to yourself, because you can overdo it thinking that you got to get everything perfect. Nothing's really perfect, and I would say to him, do not criticize yourself. You are the one who will do the most criticizing, and you don't need to do that. So those would be some of my words to him, which you've probably said already.
Yeah, you said creativity, and last time I had a conversation with me, he talks about he talked about music a lot.
Music, M-U-S-E.
Music. He talked about music a lot.
Oh, music, yeah. Virgo
like
is very talented musician. So, yeah.
I thought so. And so I questioned him. I said, out of all the instruments, which one you like the best? And he said, drums.
Of course. Of course.
Of course. Why is
that?
Yeah.
Well, he's got Pluto making a square to his south node and to his sun. And so he's born with this challenge going on here, a challenge to really get to the depths of things. And Pluto, if anybody is a drummer, Pluto would be one of the drummers. Virgo, not necessarily. Virgo could easily be just about any kind of musician, but Pluto brings in some of that, especially in Sag. So he also has Jupiter making a sextile to. It's a wide orb sextile, but it's still there. It's a sextile to his Venus, though, really close. That can make him very talented as a musician. So he has that, and that's a good thing. Now, can he make a living at it? That's always a challenge for everybody who's in music, unless they're willing to go and become a teacher, a music teacher down the road, or a coach or whatever. But right now, his progressed Mars is at 16 Libra, making a trine to Neptune. So now he is probably in a time during this next year where he could be more creative than ever. He was born with Neptune in his 10th house. He's got Aquarius running it. He's a person who probably could do a variety of styles in music. He's not necessarily going to be limited to only one thing. Neptune makes very creative, and he's also challenged by that creativity. He has to. It's like a part of him says, "But I'm so intuitive. Why do I have to learn? Why do I have to sit down and do the schooling?" He is someone who would rather just kind of do it on his own. So you may have to honor that. We all want him to get a degree because it saves your life down the road. But, but it's probably going to be really. He may decide he doesn't want to do that. But I would encourage him. I'd still say to him, you should go for it, try it, work with it, see what you can do, and don't do it. Don't do it without trying it first. So I would say that. Pluto is traveling through his 9th house right now. It'll be a little while before it gets to the midheaven. But when it does get there, and I'm just going to zip forward because I don't even know when it's going in the next sign. It's something I don't usually. I'm too busy to pay attention to all of that till it gets there. And here it will. It's 2025. Between 2025 and 2026, it will cross his midheaven. So how old will he be? 2025, 2026, that's what? That's 7 years or something like that from now? It's not even. It's
20, yes.
Yeah, it's right when he's going to be right around, 21 years old, something like that. That is when Pluto will cross his midheaven. So at that point in time, it's going to be applying to it's going to make him consider the difference of what he's doing. He may change completely. He may go in a completely different direction at that point. What kind of directions are appropriate for him? He really has air on all three working cusps. So he is definitely someone who has to work in the area of communication. Music is a form of communication. So he may also find himself being able to maybe, who knows, maybe he'll do jingles since he has connection with his Jupiter and Neptune. He might do music for commercials or something, and maybe that's the way he'll make money while he's doing his other creative work. But he's going to have that transformation at that point in time where he starts to really consider. And where he's most wounded is his Chiron, and it's right at the midheaven. So this isn't his first lifetime giving this a go. This is probably a multiple of lifetimes where he has made a decision in his soul, I can do this, I can do this. So he needs encouragement to get there, but he will transform at that point and heal himself, and then he'll be able to help others. So, he's a good guy. I wish him every bit of luck and every my heart goes to both of you. I know how much you want him to succeed, and I can tell you right now, I know Barbara and I are together praying that he will be tremendously successful in life and that he will find joy and happiness as he goes forward. He gets good fortune because of the way he looks, so he's got to be a pretty good-looking guy.
He's handsome.
That's what his chart tells me, that he's getting some good fortune because of the way he looks. So tell him to make good use of it.
Take it back.
Yeah, some people say I don't want anybody to say give me a job because I look good. You know what?
Take advantage of it. I mean, people. That's what people do. People go according to what one look like.
Yeah, just do it. Be grateful that you have good look.
Yes. Okay. So, do you see him as a light worker?
Oh, Lord, I see every child as a light worker, and I will refuse to see anybody as less than that.
Okay,
but,
all right. Because
when we look, I mean, he's super talented. He's an individual whose Mercury is in Libra, so he's he's conscientious when he speaks. He tries to do things in a fair fashion. In a work, he will do his best to be fair and balanced with others in a workplace. So, yeah, that's a light worker. He's a good guy. I don't see anything in here. I mean, his Mars is in Libra. That's a very balanced. It's not an aggressive individual. His Venus is Virgo, so he has a love of doing things well and doing them properly and fairly. And he's got a lot of talent. And he probably makes good friends, too. And I'll tell him this for his future. When he gets married and has children, he's going to have some wonderful children. This is not someone who's not going to have children. He has the opportunity to have children, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, beautiful. I have some great grandkids. Great. Great. I love that. Well, okay, because he did say that, Grandma, he did mention to me when he was much younger, he said, when I go to sleep at night, spirits won't leave me alone.
Just make sure they're good spirits, because he's very creative, so he's very intuitive. It's not surprising to me.
Yeah, that's what and he said, and the last time I had a conversation with him also, he said, Grandma, you're going to see me on television one day. I said, okay.
I would not be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And in this day and age, he could be on YouTube tomorrow, and we'll all go watch him.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I will share that with his mother, and we should carry on. Thank you.
Yes. I wish he could take good care, and much big hugs to him. He's 13. He's at that age who's the most challenging for a young man.
I know. It's a scary age.
It is, but he's a smart kid. He's going to be fine.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you, Michele, Barbara.
You're welcome, sweetie. Have a great night. Big hugs to you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we've got Donna here. Hi, Donna. You're on the air.
Hi. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Michele. That was my sister, Dee Dee. That came on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, she really enjoys you as much as I do. Yeah, I'd like to know about my love life. You know, I am 65 and I've never been married, and I'd like to get married.
Well, you obviously decide to choose a guy, because I'm sure there were ones who wanted you.
Oh.
What's your date of birth, Donna?
Okay, it's April 22nd, 1954, and I was born at 2:50 p.m. in Flushing, Long Island.
Let's see. And that's Flushing. Oops. My hands are not cooperating tonight. I don't know why, but this has been happening a little bit, and you hear my computer complaining. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Floppy fingers. Okay, let's try that again. Flushing. Long Island, well, that's Flushing, New York, so got it. So let's go take a look. I got April 22nd, 1954, 2:50 p.m.
Yes.
That was correct, right? Okay. I asked because with my sloppy fingers tonight. It's really not my fingers, it's my eyeballs, but we're working.
Okay.
So you want to know about your love life. You have Pisces on that 7th house cusp, and Neptune's just getting ready to go right into that house. So if you have never been married before, Neptune is going to say, let me let you wear these nice little pink glasses so you can see guys from a different viewpoint. That's what Neptune's going to do for you. Let's see now. Let's see if it's going to bring anybody in. You have Pluto going through, just entered your 5th house, and that's the house of falling in love. So it's going to transform the way that you've been doing things. And it looks like, you have Chiron in that house, so it may be that you haven't married because this is an area where you were most wounded, whether in this lifetime or another. And it looks like the wound is more one of control, where you were not, maybe you were tempted with love, but the person was felt that they needed to be in control, and so they were controlling you, and that is not love. So that may be what went on there at some past life, or may have subconsciously risen in this life. And that may be why you have not married. Pluto's about to, in the next few years, conjoin that. But more importantly, Jupiter is going to go in that house and conjoin it. And that will happen late next year, December of 2020, a little earlier, November of 2020. And when it does, let's see who it activates, if anybody. It's a quincunx to Jupiter before that, but it gets free of that, so that's not a problem. And it's not really, it's almost renegade. It doesn't look like it's activating anybody. Before it gets there, it gives you a few challenges. All I can say that Jupiter is really going to do is just open a doorway. All it will do is make you focus on how you look at love. So you'll work through that. That's your choice. It doesn't look like it's really opening any major door. What seems to be active right now, and why you probably have a desire for a relationship as your progressed moon has been applying to Venus, and it's in Taurus, and there may be a desire for a relationship that maybe you have had 28 years ago and 28 years before that, but it hasn't always really been there. Let's see here. At the house of marriage itself, Capricorn is on your 5th house cusp, and that doesn't make it. You tend to be more of the wallflower than you are the person who goes out. You're not. Capricorn says, I have to go out for a purpose. I don't just go out. It's not a statement of I know how to play. It's more of a statement of I'm not very good at that. Let's see how your Saturn is sitting. If it gives me another clue, that maybe is a better clue. And unfortunately it does not. It basically tells me that it's in a quincunx action to Eris, so it's a statement that, again, that I don't want to be controlled. I have power, women have power. We should have freedom to express that. So there's those kinds of statements going on. So what I would suggest you do, because Neptune is getting ready to say, "Come on, open up the door. Let's get you connected." It's actually been saying that for a couple of years, but it's about to trine Uranus, and then it will trine. It's about to trine Mercury, and then it will trine Uranus. Those are statements that say, I have an opportunity for marriage that could come literally, suddenly, unexpectedly, because some communication door opens up, and I realize that there are men or there are others out there who are family-oriented, who will speak with me and spend time speaking to me and not just looking to control me. So what I would suggest you do, and I bet you Barbara will back me up 100% on this, set in motion what you want and recognize it exists. Don't let this stuff from the past that's in your subconscious, even, and it may be partially in your conscious, that says that, men control. That's an ancient old thing. And yes, there are still men out there who control, yes, and there are still men who are not nice, and it goes on. But there's also a huge supply of men out there who are happy to do the laundry, happy to make dinner, and are happy to be there to play with the kids. There are still men like that. So focus on that. Focus on the man you want so that he will manifest as Neptune continues to move and open up this doorway for you. And that doorway may come through your career. It may come through your workplace. It may come through a gym or a place where you go to a restaurant or a place where you might go and buy food even. All of those are possible locations where you will connect. So hopefully that's helpful to you. But the doorway is there, and and tell you, it actually Neptune's about to turn around and go direct in the end of November or around Thanksgiving, and when it does, it's going to be making that trine to your south node, and at that point in time, you could meet this person, because the statement is, I have an opportunity to meet someone from my soul family. And a soul family means someone who came in to the lower worlds with a similar directive that you have, someone who you naturally would feel comfortable with.
Oh, I like that. Now, this is November, December of next year, right?
No. That was the Jupiter thing. That is November of this year.
Oh.
Neptune's already doing that. November 27th, I think it is, Neptune will go retrograde, and I think that's right around Thanksgiving. And when it's going retrograde, there's this opportunity that it's there. It's right there in your chart. It couldn't be much closer.
Oh, good. All right, I'm going to get out a lot then. Yeah, I'm going to go to all those places.
Maybe a friend will invite you over for Thanksgiving dinner, and go. I'd say go, because that could be where you meet this person that fits the picture, okay?
Yes.
And maybe it's a friend from work, which even fits the picture closer. So I don't know. But don't pass anything up. Don't say, I'll just stay home. Don't do that.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make an effort to do that.
Yeah, and just say to your angels, a man who is the man that I've been dreaming of. He will be honest. He will respect me. He will honor my goals. He will be there for me through thick and thin. And he just makes me happy. Whenever I see him, I light up. Whenever he sees me, he lights up. We have something that can't be designed. It's God designed it for us.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, good. I can't wait.
All right. Well, we look forward to hearing good news. So you can always give us a holler in December and let us know how it's going.
All right. Thank you so much, Michele. And thank you,
Take
Barbara.
care, Donna. Good night.
Oh, you're so welcome. These shows I work so hard on, Well, yeah, I have moments when I have to chime in, or I feel obligated to chime in. But for the most part, you do a very good job.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. I'm glad. Plus, I know you're not well, so just do your best.
Oh, but I'm weller than I was. Okay, we got Jackie here. Hi, Jackie. Are you there?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here. Hi, ladies.
Hi. What date of birth, Jackie?
1/5/1965, London, England. I don't know the time.
Oh, January. What did you say?
January 9th.
January. What? I heard a word instead of what you were saying, so something didn't go right in my brain.
January 5th, 1965.
Okay, 1960. I got the 65. So now, time of birth?
I don't have the time. I think last time we tried 6 o'clock, but I've been told in the past that I had a Gemini rising, so I don't know how that would be 6 o'clock. I was told it could have been the afternoon.
Okay, so you want me to just we'll go play with it? So I'll put 2 p.m. or something, and we'll take a look?
Yes.
And where were you born?
London, England.
London. Oh, I've never been there. I think that would be a nice place to visit. I think everything would be a nice place to visit. My chance of ever getting anywhere at this point in my life isn't high. Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't happen for me.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see here. I have a Gemini rising by putting in 2 o'clock. I've got the Gemini rising that you said you have. You know, Gemini body, okay, if you were born with Gemini rising, your body should have been, and it doesn't mean it is when we get really old, or older, and I shouldn't say really old because you're like 12 or 13 years younger than I am, so you're a long ways from really old since I'm not there. Okay, so going back to where I was.
Well, they came about with that. They asked me about some issues with my teeth and any, bone situation when I was younger, which I did have. So, I'm not really sure because I've never gotten my chart rectified. And it's the only thing that I never asked my mom before she transitioned was what time was I born. It never dawned on me of all the conversations that we had. And it's not on my birth certificate.
Yeah, well, Gemini is not bones and not teeth. Gemini rising would give you a body that is very agile, not necessarily really tall, but very agile, very flexible, very bendable. The trapeze artist is Gemini rising. So to give you an understanding of what that is. And if you were like that when you were a child, then Gemini rising might fit you very well. I don't know.
I was very flexible.
You are? Okay, then you're in the zone. So that's good. That's good. Issues with your teeth, is that still going on? Is that something you wanted to ask about, or what did you want to ask about?
No, I'm ready to move on. I have some issues in my family that's been holding me back. And
yeah. Saturn is on top of your sun, and it's in the 8th house if this chart is anywhere correct. And Saturn on the sun in the 8th house would mean that you have been experiencing anything from having to take care of someone because of their age, or finding yourself with issues that have to do with taxes or mortgages where you feel like you're bound up a little bit, but you do have if this is correct and the sun is in the 8th, then you're not going to ever lose with taxes. That's not going to ever happen to you in this lifetime. The chance of that is so slim it's ridiculous. So if you've ever had any major tax battles, then this is not the chart. But this is the chart of someone who the tax man cometh and you get it extra money.
It would be nice if you hurry and bring it to me. Well, paid up back taxes. And
yeah. Well, I have the sun in
money
the
back.
8th.
I don't own the property.
They do that.
I buy the property.
And you have a grand trine in this chart, so boy, we should be picking this chart apart till we find the right chart for you, because the grand trine is always a good thing. Coming through this chart, it could include inheritances, sudden, unexpected inheritances. Have you had any in your lifetime at this point yet?
That's what excuse me, I'm sorry. That's what I've been caught up in, because the home where I paid the back taxes is a home that I honestly believe I was supposed to inherit, and that's why it was withheld from me. And I'm taking care of this home now for a year, and I don't live in it, and now I'm trying to just get my mind wrapped around finishing up some paperwork, submitting it to the attorney, and hopefully going into court and things just, being settled, because I've put out everything, and I want what's mine.
I don't blame you. You should get what's yours. We don't know the exact chart, but Jupiter in this chart has been making a trine to your progressed moon, and your moon could be off because the time of day, the moon moves rather rapidly. Every 2.5 days it changes sign. So depending on what time you were born, it could be different. I don't know if it's applying or if it's already applied. If it's applying, you will most likely come through. If it involves any legal matter, you will most likely get this property, because the moon always represents property, and the trine from Jupiter coming in Sagittarius, which it's in right now, would be a statement that legal options, especially inheritance, because Jupiter can always refer to inheritances, and the fact that your sun, of course, is right there in that house of inheritances, it could be a statement that's saying there's an opportunity for that to finally come through for you. So, again, I don't know if this is the correct chart, so I can't absolutely tell you it's a definite, but you do have that in this chart we've just created. And so you should come through this. As I look, you were born with Pluto making a beautiful trine to your sun, and if your sun is in the 8th house, that's an opportunity for you to, and that trine goes back to Saturn. That is a grand trine. That should be a doorway that just makes things simple. It's got to be the fact that Saturn and Pluto have been on top of your sun that you have not seen this come through yet. But, Pluto's past and Saturn is not quite past yet, but it will be soon. Let me go.
Because really, I'm the one that's really, as far as I'm concerned with, submitting information, it's I hate to submit information if I haven't dotted my I's and crossed my T's. And there's just some things I haven't, really been settled with. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know if it's just in my head, if I've been in my head too much, or, just being distracted by everything else that's going on around me.
Well, I tell you, it looks very good to me that in the beginning of December you should have, this stuff should come through for you. It looks to be the case. Venus will then be on top of your sun, and Saturn will have moved off, and Jupiter will be directly trining your Saturn, which rules your house of judgments and court outcomes, and also rules your house of any kind of legal matter. So that doorway just should open up around the 7th of December. You should have a completion on this, and it should be in your favor from the looks of this, if this chart is anywhere close. And it's got to be somewhat close. If you were born with a really agile body, it's really Gemini. None of the other bodies are all that agile. Nobody is as agile as Gemini body. So
yeah, I was able to do splits and cartwheels and all that,
Yeah, that's What's the Gemini body? It's your sun is in Capricorn. Capricorn is not. It is nothing necessarily flexible about Capricorn. It's the stone body.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gemini rising will give you that kind of flexibility. So it's probably pretty close. We don't know what the exact time is, but it's probably pretty close. And you'll have to let us know. But I'd say, get all your paperwork in and be ready for an outcome around the 7th of December. I would think you will have it at that point in time from the looks of this. It could come a little bit later when Jupiter gets to 7 degrees because Saturn progressed is at 7 and your Sun is at 10. So I'd say it starts around the 7th of December and let's see here. And it will be there before January the 7th. So,
okay.
So the latest would be, let me just take it all the way to where money is in your hand. 1048. Whoops, sorry, that's too far. January the 18th would be as far out as it probably would go.
Okay.
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 Let us know because that, and keep records because that information will help you to rectify this chart. And having a rectified chart is can be really helpful to you down the road. You just, I don't know, I work with charts every day, and when people have to go in for surgery, it's really good to know what your chart is. So having the sun in that 8th house, that can be a very good place for people who, and you with the grand trine, you would come through surgery very well with that grand trine. Because the 8th house is also the house of surgery. So if you've had any surgery in your lifetime, think about it. Has it been really successful? Have you always come out feeling okay? And people with Sun in the 8th also frequently may find themselves in situations where they feel like they're dying, or they may look like they're dying, or everybody thinks they're dying, but they turn around and suddenly are right there and healthy all over again. So that's also a case for the Sun in the 8th. So just all these thoughts, you can think them over. It'll help you define whether or not that chart is accurate.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you. I'd like to continue to listen.
Absolutely.
You bet.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to try Lisa again, see if she's there. She's probably out just getting soda last time. Hi, Lisa. Are you there?
Oh, hi. So sorry. My phone dropped, and I'm glad I was able to get back in. I'm sure you have a lot of people want to talk to y'all, but I'm happy to come back.
No, we're ready for you now. So just go for it.
Yeah. What's your date of birth, Lisa?
Thank you so much. So November 3rd, 78.
November.
Born in the USA.
78. Time of birth?
3 in the morning.
3 a.m. And where exactly were you born?
State of Texas, Austin.
Austin, Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty, I got all of that in there just perfectly. I'm so proud of myself. Let's see here. Okay, so what do you want us to focus on, Lisa?
How about the big M, the marriage? You see any marriage for me nearby? Thank you.
A marriage coming up? Let's see
yes.
here.
If you see me getting married or being married.
Not yet, but I'm looking.
Thank you.
And your house of marriage is ruled by 2 planets, Neptune and Jupiter. And you have 20 degrees on that cusp, but right now when Jupiter gets to, right now Jupiter is on top of your progressed Neptune, which is quite interesting. It can be a real focus on marriage, but it doesn't activate that node or that house cusp. When Jupiter goes to the next sign next year, it will activate that cusp, and it will activate it while Neptune is in that house, activating your south node. So I would say that your possibilities are much stronger a year from now than they are at this time. Not to say that, you might not meet somebody before a year's time, but if we go forward, I just want to see where I get the activation I'm looking for. So here we go. When we come to November 2020, which is just a little over a year from now, Jupiter will be activating your south node, and there should be an opportunity at that point in time for you to meet somebody that really, I want to say that you could get stuck like glue with, someone who will be empowering to you, someone who transforms your life, someone who is part of your soul family, who you will, the kind of person who, when you meet them, you just know when you meet them that they're someone you're comfortable with from the minute you meet them. It's not somebody that you have to get comfortable with, or you just are. And so there is a very powerful statement there, very powerful, because Pluto's involved and Jupiter involved, and Saturn in a wide edge is involved. Saturn actually gets involved earlier, so you might meet the person even before that. But there's that opportunity happens at that point in time. And whether you marry at that point or you just fall in love at that point, the relationship is pointed at marriage. Okay, so you may fall in love at that point and not marry till Jupiter goes into that house, which would be 2 years later. So, but that's really more a choice than it is so specific. When Jupiter goes into the next sign, which is Aquarius, it will be opposing your natal Jupiter. So it's like we're not ready to do it, or there's a bit of a struggle going on. You'd have to rebalance that. But once it goes all the way to Pisces, then you've got the doorway just kind of starts to open up. So I would say you could fall in love as soon as Jupiter gets to, where is your Venus, 17? Yeah. You could fall in love in September of 2020, or before that, the first time it goes to 17, which would be, February of this year. Definitely go out for Valentine's Day if you get invited, because you could meet the person at that point in time. That's you're looking at a doorway opening from February 7th or so until, let's see here, until about February the 20th. So that's a couple of weeks where you could find yourself connecting and falling in love.
Wow.
So you want to just open up that door, and if you can remember what I said to the last lady, think about setting in motion the kind of statement that allows you to attract the person that is really a good person, a good match for you. And a good match is someone who will respect you, who is honest, someone who wants to support you in whatever your goals are. Not someone who will tell you don't do that, but someone who says, let me help you find a way to do that, or that sounds great, and let me be there for you. Whatever you need, I'll help you. That's the kind of person you're looking for. Someone who, when you look at them, you smile, and someone who constantly brings joy to you. That's the kind of person you're looking for. So be kind to yourself. Open the doorway for that. Say to the angels, I'm ready. and bring him on and go for it, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You have a wonderful night, Lisa.
You too, man. It was very interesting. Thank you so much. Jessie.
You're so welcome. Good night, man. Okay, we've got Debbie here. At least we did a second ago.
They come.
We got Debbie here. Hi, Debbie.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Debbie.
I give
What's
you
your
birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, February 12th. And do I give you the year or just February 12th?
No, I need the year.
1963.
63. And your time of birth?
I believe it was 12:45 p.m., so that's afternoon.
Yeah. And where were you born?
Mississippi, Lucedale.
Louisville?
Mm-hmm. L-U-C-E.
L-U-C. I was thinking it's got to be different.
Yeah, it was named after somebody.
Louisville, Mississippi, you said, right? Oops.
Yep.
Louisville.
L-U-C. Or you could just put Biloxi. It's pretty close.
No, it'll be in here.
Okay.
S-I-P-P-I. It's a big word there.
L-U.
No, I was talking about Mississippi is a big word.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I do not, you're right, I might not have it in here. I have Lucedale. Is it in Georgia?
It.
That's it?
Yep,
okay,
that's it.
Okay, I got it. I'm good. My computer's not that good.
Okay.
But my computer knows what it's doing, and it tells me when I'm wrong. So,
okay.
Okie dokie. So now, what do we want to look at, Debbie?
I would like to look at work. I want to change my work.
Okay. You have Neptune traveling in that house right now. It's in retrograde, and it's like it's already activated your Jupiter and said, we need to consider more creative work. And then it's going back, and it's moving over towards your Chiron and your Venus and saying, let's see now, what do I love? I love things that have to do with fantasy, that have to do with feminism, that have to do with things that are delicate and beautiful and sweet and soft and gentle. I love things that can be almost elusive or illusionary, and also things that might have to do with water. So Neptune is stirring things up in this chart. So what's going to happen, Jupiter has already made its trine, and it will go past, and that trine, not a trine, but it's square, which challenged you to really think this over. But it's going to move forward now, and when it first activates this in a very positive way, you should have a doorway start to open for you. So let me go in time, and it starts, let's see here. Yeah, a little bit, well, actually it starts right here. January 7th, 2020 is where it kind of starts, and that may connect you with someone who, wow, yeah, actually it's a little bit earlier than that, probably a week or 2 weeks earlier than that. My computer doesn't go back by weeks, unfortunately. It only goes back by days. But nonetheless, here it is where it's active. So you're looking at January the 2nd, 2020. It looks like it's very active right on top of your Venus, and that means even the week before it's active. So think about Christmas and New Year's and that whole time frame. You could find yourself connecting with someone, and that someone may help you get to where you need to go, whether they say, oh, yeah, there's this opening over here, or they say, oh, I've got a project of my own, and you would be perfect for it. I don't know what they're going to say, but It looks like it's coming through a connection, and it can come through a connection as a result of someone you already know. This is not a new someone, a surprise someone, but it's someone you probably already know. So you just need to kind of talk it up a little, so you don't want to just go to these events that will be happening over Christmas and New Year's and not open your mouth. You want to make sure you let some of that out. And the key for that is really simple, not to be thinking about it, but rather just to say to the angels around you, okay, make me talk when it's time to talk. And they'll do it.
Okay.
You know, I give them my directives so that I get it done. So that's where it starts to open, and it continues to remain open with possibilities for quite a while. It's going to go all the way till Jupiter hits 17, then it's going to turn around and go backwards and then give you a second opportunity. So sometimes when it hits the first time, we don't manifest everything, but then when it hits the second time, we manifest it. So I'll give you the first doorways, and the first doorways are from whatever I said there, the beginning of January until February the 20th, okay?
Okay.
So that's big. In astrology, that's a long period of time, okay?
Okay.
And so you lots of opportunity, and then it's going to turn around and go retrograde, and then it's going to turn and come back. And when it comes back, it won't go all the way as far back. So whoever it is who first talked to you, it's not going, it's not like you're going to have to go find them. They'll either be available or you already know what to do. Because when it stations direct, it will station direct on the 13th of September 2020, next year. And when it stations direct, it stations on top. And it's very, very close, what we call almost partile in astrology. It means it's a very close to exact aspect as it's stationing in a sextile to Jupiter. So there is your opportunity, and it should just go like bang right on around the 13th of September. You shouldn't have to wait past that point. Things might have already been in motion, but it clicks. It's almost guaranteed to be that day. Okay, that's how amazing that statement is. So whatever it is, looks like it opens up at that point in time. And the fact that Jupiter will be in your 8th house when this opens up could be some opportunity that connects as a result of someone who's in the field of credit cards, mortgage broker, someone who shares resources in some way. Could be a builder, contractor, could be someone who is in government, could be a government thing. God, there's so many possibilities with this combination. Someone who does taxes could be someone who, like a contractor, could be a realtor, but more likely a mortgage broker. I don't know what kind of work you do. I haven't really explored that even in possibilities, but if any of that's ringing bells, go take a look in those zones, okay?
Okay. I'm more television and holistic arts.
Yeah, well, Jupiter rules television, rules all forms of media from internet on. So, yeah, it would be an established place, okay? It would be a place that's established, not a brand new place. It would be an established place, okay? So it wouldn't be like the news station that's just opening up, unless it's a subsidiary of an old one. So yeah. But that's your doorway really opens up there. So, and maybe it'll come through someone that's connected to some of the other things that I've mentioned. Maybe.
Okay.
Never know. I mean, it could be someone like a contractor who's getting advertising who says, "Oh no, you've got to go see this guy today."
Okay.
I don't know how it'll. But
I wish it was this month, though.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have it for this month, but it definitely looks to be very absolutely on at that point, because even your progressed moon says, I'm here, let's do it, let's go for it. You've got all kinds of things happening. Neptune is activated, progressed moon is activated. You've got a lot of good activation. Venus is active, Chiron, Jupiter. You've got a lot of really good activation.
Suppose I have a job now where I have a really overbearing boss. I mean, is there a lesson that I'm supposed to learn?
There is always a lesson. You have to ask yourself, why have I brought this person into my life?
Okay. I didn't know if it's just my time to deal with this.
Well, there's always a lesson in it, and the lesson, of course, is to learn to be. So come here to begin with is for us to learn to be more compassionate. So the key practice when you're working with anybody who just does not fit your picture of humanity, okay, is for you
not at all.
you to project the love to them that you would project to a child who doesn't know what they're doing, who's making a mess out of the living room. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yes, you want to look at them and say, they're lost. And, yeah, they may be completely stuck in cement in the way they're lost. But I will only see them for their beauty. I'll tell a quick story here. Years ago, I went to see this doctor, and everybody had told me, you're not even going to like her. Nobody likes her. And even my own doctor said, do you really want to go to this person, or should I send you up to Eugene? And I said, no, she's in town. I'm going to her. That woman was so mean, and everyone on her staff was so mean. I literally came out of there crying. And I had to go back the following week or the following month. And when I went back, I said to the angels, I said, you have to show me the good side of this person. She has to have a good side. Everyone has a good side. Show me the side that her children see, her husband sees, someone her mom sees. Show me that side of her today and all her staff, please. I walked in. I was treated so well, I thought I'd gone to another planet. Please know that the angels can help you. You just need to have a little hint as to what to say, okay? So practice that, because the sooner you gather up the lesson and are able to be more compassionate towards this person, the sooner you'll have the freedom to go forward and do the other things that you want to do.
Okay.
Okay?
I will try. Definitely. I've been trying.
Well, what do they say? Some people will test the temper of your soul.
Okay. Thank you.
No, the angels are always loving you no matter where you are and no matter who's there, okay?
Okay. They work overtime.
They
Thank
do.
you so much. Yeah.
You take care.
Yeah. I got a tough assignment.
You do. Well, let us know how it goes. You can always call us and just say, I just called to let you know I did it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
And, of course, the angels never sleep. So.
Of course. They don't have to.
I know. Well, this is a surprise. We have a gentleman with us next. We have Hugh.
I am grateful.
Hi, Hugh.
Hi, good evening, ladies. Thank you very much for taking my call. You need my birthday information?
I do.
Yes, September 22nd, 1944. I was born at 3:40 a.m. in New York City, New York, Manhattan Island.
3:40 a.m. in New York, huh?
Yeah.
1944.
Actually, I was born
year.
in quite a famous hospital back in the day. A few years after I was born there, Sigourney Weaver was born there, and also Christina Onassis.
Oh, wow. All righty then.
It's quite a bizarre life.
Yeah, one never knows, do they? I don't know why my computer does not want to accept New York City. I'm just going to put in Manhattan. It keeps throwing a hospital in there. I don't even know where it's coming up with that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's listening to you and not me. I don't know. You were talking about a hospital. I have no idea what it was doing. Crazy. But anyway, we're in you. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
So let's go take a look. Let's see. So now what did you want me to focus on as we take a look?
I am just starting to get recognized by some pretty high-level people, and I have huge missions and visions that I'm working on, and I'm looking just to get a good core group because I have so much to give that I want to make sure that I'm giving it to the right people, because I've given a lot throughout my life that people take and run with and, and do successful things with, and leave me sitting to find more people that will hopefully not do that again.
Oh, wow. Well, what Uranus right now is in your 9th house, and that's the house of the public. It's the house of being seen. It's a house where people become famous. It's a house of breakthroughs on the internet as well as in media of all forms. So to have Uranus there opens up possibilities. If you're looking for creative people, you're right in the right zone when Uranus turns around. Anyway, right now it's retrograde. It's directly facing your progressed Mercury, and your progressed Mercury is in the 5th house, which is the house of socializing and investing. And so there's a statement there that you have opportunity to connect with people that will activate your publicity, or you will activate theirs. One way or the other. It's a two-way street.
Right.
And it will be key conversation and good investment. So it's also a wide orb grand trine at this point in time, because your progressed moon is right now at 0 Virgo. So I'm going to move this forward a little, and unfortunately I don't have weeks in this computer. I need to do something about that. But let me move it forward and see if I can get where the trine becomes a powerful one. So here it is. That's in March of 2020. Uranus will be very close to the midheaven, making a grand trine to your progressed moon and to your progressed Mercury. So this doorway opens up for you to connect with people or person. It could be more than one. There's nothing here that says one or more. But probably someone from the past, because your moon rules the house of both the karmic past and the past this life or past other lives. And it can be someone who, a lot of feminine energy, probably a woman or women. And it's someone who, that doorway, when it opens up, it gives you the opportunity to invest in ways that are going to not transform, but I want to say bring tremendous energy and possibly tremendous publicity to your career or profession, and possibly to you directly. So all of those things are statements, and it's all because of who you are, not because of anything else. It has more to do with you than it does with anyone else. So let me just see where we have additional support of all of this, because that will come afterwards from what I'm seeing. Oh, wow, yeah, and during this exact same time, this period I'm telling you about, the nodes are also active. So it's definitely going to be a connection with someone from a past life. There is absolutely no doubt about that. And the statement is that this person who comes in from this past life experience is someone who you both made an agreement in that life that you would pursue a dream in this life, or you would help each other pursue a dream in this life. So that's the rest of this statement, and it's really quite impressive to see all of that. So
yeah, that's very interesting because in your equating that to a feminine energy too, because I had somebody who I never met that I was really looking to work with, and it didn't go right, and so that stopped everything. And then it turned out not to be a good person I was dealing with there, but that could have the past life things that you're talking about. So that's interesting. But
this one looks good to me, though. This doesn't look bad to me. This looks good.
Okay, good.
And there's an additional statement that seems to indicate that this isn't only good. It's Chiron in the sky is activating Eris in your chart, and it's coming through the house of joined or shared resources. Chiron is the one who is a healer, and Eris is feminine energy. It's the warrior goddess. And so where someone may have, and it wouldn't surprise me, I mean, it's so red when I look at it, that someone who might be female in this life or some other life who may have literally taken money from you. I mean, it looks to me like someone was just pushy and taken something from you. The statement is that this time of this grand trine will heal that issue.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much for that, and I'll leave a message for you so you can see how accurate you were, because I am.
No problem. We wish you good fortune, you, and thanks for being the guy on the call. We don't get enough guys.
Well, there'll be more coming. I'm teaching them to really learn from the woman how to balance their divine masculine, divine feminine energies, and to stop all the wars and stuff. But it's, I think, behind the scenes, it's getting there. I wish it would get out to mainstream media more, because people are just, they're not resonating with what they're here for. They're too caught up in the material world.
But it is happening. It's like you said, it is behind the scenes. But when you take a look, you can see it. You can see it if you take the time to look. You have to look past it.
And we're very powerful, and we can, with our creativity, when it's aligned correctly with the Creator, we can do magical things. And you just proved it there with your reading. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, well that's
calling you.
You take good care. You have a wonderful night.
Thank you too, ladies. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay, we've got Allison next. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey.
Love your show. I do astrology myself, so you can talk shop. And I've heard you before on the show. I just love listening to you. I really enjoy your astrological perspectives and the information that you deliver to those who don't know astrology. That's always a challenge. I know that one. So thank you. Just want to say glad I got on.
Thank you. So what is your birth, Allison?
March 15, 1957. I have my chart here in front of me, as a matter of fact, too, so I can kind of follow along with what you're saying.
Oh, and what time were you born?
I was born in Berkeley, California. At
what time?
11:48 a.m.
A.m.
Yep.
Okay, and that was Berkeley, you said?
That's correct. In California.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, come on, fingers. You've got to work with me now. Don't understand what my brain is doing. It refuses to do the right thing sometimes. Oh, Lord. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see.
So I had an area of interest, so hone in on that.
Dokie, so now where did you want me to focus?
Well, I'll be 63 with this next birthday. It's time for me to settle down somewhere in the United States where I can actually remain. I've moved about 62 times, so I am needing to stop doing that. I need to find a home. I need to find a place where I can stay and not move so much. It's just I have no more moves left to me. I have one more move left to me, and that's it. So this is the move that's got to matter. This has got to be the move that lets me stay. Have a couple of places, not places. I have an area of the country that I'm looking at, and I could always, of course, stay in Arizona where I am, but that's not really feeling like that's going to be the best decision. I have about 1 year, I feel, to do this in, and I need to also get on with other things of my life, creativity. I would love to find a partner in my life again before I die. So this next year is very, very pivotal for setting up my retirement, quote-unquote, golden years, which, by the way, is a total misnomer, and really be in a space that allows me to breathe and to be and to create, because my family has just destroyed my life. So I need to, really move on from that to something that is good for my soul. So,
you're right now. You're operating in a grand trine right now. So there's a Pluto moon. And node trine, and that could give you the doorway you're looking for. It's coming the south in your house of wishes and dreams. And Pluto's coming through friends and connections, so it wouldn't be a move that would be somewhere completely unknown, but rather it would be a move to somewhere where you do know someone or you know someone.
I never go anywhere where I know anyone. I always joke, wherever my family is, I go the opposite direction. So no, and the place that I have in mind is actually
it doesn't. Nothing here that says family. It doesn't have to be family. It has. I'm saying it would be a place where you would know someone, or a place that you is a place that has power for you. That would be
yeah.
So
I never go anywhere where I know anyone either. I am like the modern day hobo. Like I go where I know no one knows me, and I've done this probably about 40 times in my life. So I don't look for a place.
This is a time zone for you to go for it, certainly.
Yeah.
Of course, it comes to a culmination when Jupiter makes it to that 20-degree point. So you've got between now and a year from January or February. So that's time zone, and I would think you should be able to find something with no problem with all of that time. It becomes incredibly on the mark when we come into January, early January, when you have Saturn and Pluto together at 22, making that trine with the south node at 22 and the north node at 22 and your moon at 21, and you progress to Jupiter at almost 22. So that you should find it by then. That should be, I would be targeting that time zone. And, if you needed to tweak it further, you could move to a city and then find that maybe the area of the city isn't quite what you wanted, or maybe the location you found isn't quite, then your next doorway will be around March of 2020 when you have Jupiter making the grand trine activity, and that's the grand trine, and then, of course, Jupiter goes retrograde and will turn around and then come back to that 20-degree mark again, or pretty close.
Right.
So
were you talking about this good stuff happening in December, January of this year?
January. Or? This January 2020.
Oh,
then
I
March.
won't be ready by then. Oh no, this
March
is
2020, and then November of 2020. That is some of the timing you'll ever come up with.
Okay, right. I feel that is the right timetable, but I don't feel I will have any opportunity to even go and do some exploratory traveling until probably, I want to say, September of next year of 2020. And that will literally be the time that I can go and see these places, that are my candidate. And this is far away. This is thousands of miles away, so it's not like I'm just driving down the road, This is
it doesn't surprise me. I mean, you have your moon Jupiter conjunct in the 4th house, and that's not usually around the corner.
No. I've jumped all. I've lived every part of in every part of the country about, and I've lived abroad, and I've traveled abroad a lot. Mm-hmm. So I really feel.
November of 2020, you have Jupiter and Pluto conjunct at 22 degrees, activating that grand sign. So you should be on it at that point in time. You should have it.
That's the timetable that I feel is really appropriate, given everything that I need to take into account. It's a major. It's a major retransformation of my life, but setting me up for the next, until I die, whenever that is. Mm-hmm. It could be 5 years from now. It could be, I don't really care when it happens. I just want to be in a good place when I die.
November is just like perfect for you. I mean, your progressive moon is even there. You've got Jupiter, Pluto, and the moon together, the progressed moon together, as they're activating this grand trine. So you'll have it by then. But these other doorways of opportunity, even though you say you're not ready, I'm not ready, you certainly be looking on the internet and maybe finding certain areas pop more during those times. And you will end up sifting down until you get to September. You'll sift them down. So, and your trip will probably come in early November or late September. And formalize it in November. So you're on the road to that. As for relationship, Saturn has been traveling through your 7th house. I never recommend anybody get into anything with it in that house, but you do have Saturn ruling that house. It is the ruler of that house. Yeah. So, but personally, what I would say is when this doorway opens in November, that's also an opportunity for you to connect with someone. What you're really looking for will happen, I would say, before it gets to 22 degree. Anytime Jupiter is in the 15 to 17 to 24 zone, it's activating your Venus. And if it activates your Venus, there could be a doorway for relationship, since you could fall in love. Venus rules your house of love. So I would just be watching for that, because it will be active next year. As soon as it goes into Capricorn, it's active. It starts to become active. So the dates that I gave you, it's going to be just probably 2 weeks before any date that I gave you. So it's also there. And looking at your natal Saturn, it's at 14 degrees. So this is why relationships are challenging to you. You get this quincunx action between your natal Saturn and Venus. Venus is how you fall in love, and Saturn is where you marry. And putting a quincunx there is a statement that says, I'm too stressed to ever do that. I'm not going to do that. It's challenging for you. That's like, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm not going to do it. And you have to have something big that would break that. That's part of your natal chart, and even
You're
the progress.
About the square. You're talking about the Saturn.
No, it's not a
square.
Yeah, yes, it is a square. I take it back.
Yeah.
You know what? A square is not that bad. If it were a quincunx, which is what it looks like on the screen, it's not a quincunx. You're right. It's a square. Square is not as bad. You can overcome a square. Anybody can overcome a square. So what I'm looking at now is, where's your progressed Venus? Maybe it's already done it. Progressed Venus is at 6 Gemini, and that's just to make a wide orb opposition. It's not really opposing. It's just it will be opposing in 5 years, but it's not yet. So
yeah, right. It's in that early. It's in that really early Gemini, which is
right. It's a
not
6.
really particularly conducive to anything in my chart.
Right.
Whatever the planet is, it's just, there's nothing good that happens when that stuff starts hanging around in Gemini. There's really nothing. It doesn't set off anything positive except for in the Leo. That's it.
In 7 to 9 years, in 7 years' time, that Venus will be making a lovely trine to your Chiron, and that may help tremendously.
Right.
So you will find some things healing over the issues of intimacy that are messed up.
Yeah. I've been working on that since 2002.
Yeah. Well, it takes time. I don't disagree with
you. That's a tough
one, Michelle.
But anyway,
yeah, we got to go.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. You that November time frame looking at the astro was what I was getting as well. So we're on the same page with that. So I really appreciate the information, the validation, and just chatting with you. And please mute me so I can keep on listening to the show if you would.
Absolutely.
You take care.
Great. Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Okay. We've got Casey here. I think. Casey, is there?
Yes, thank you so much for taking my call. My birthday is coming up in a couple of months, December 26, 1967.
December 26th, 1967?
Yes.
So you're born the day after Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, and the time of birth?
6:18 in the morning.
Okay, and where were you born?
In Oceanside, New York.
Oceanside. All righty. Let's go take a look. And what did you want to kind of look at, Casey?
I guess love, if love is coming up.
Well, you don't have a lot of activity going over there. Let me just see if Mercury, you have Mercury ruling your house of love, okay? You have Gemini on that house. And, well, actually, that's the house of marriage. You did say love. So Venus rules your house of love, and we could have activity there maybe. Right now, all the planets are just not on that side of your chart, and they're all on the other side. Jupiter is getting ready to go over your ascendant, and it is not in a sign to help. But let's see what we've got happening. When Jupiter gets to the 25 degrees of Capricorn, it is going to be activating your progressed Venus, and Venus does rule your house of love, which basically tells us there will be opportunities for love for you. So you do have coming up. And see, your Mercury is at 2 degrees of Capricorn. So actually when Jupiter goes into Capricorn, there could even be an opportunity for you to connect with someone. You might not fall in love at that point, though. So let's go take a look at that. That's coming right up. And actually, when we take a look at it, that could easily be in your solar return, which can be really a plus. So as we take a look, here it is at 2 degrees. You're at 232. So December 13th. So by the time you get to your birthday, it's past. But let's see what it looks like for your birthday. I'm just going to go forward to where we have your birthday. So here we go, 359. That's close enough. Jupiter will then be 5 degrees, and so it might be hitting a midpoint here. 5 degrees. Yeah, it could be hitting a midpoint. It is not exactly active, but the moon is. And the moon could be pulling. You got the moon and the sun activating your Mercury, for a whole year. So this could be a really good year for love for you. So going forward, a solar return, for those that don't understand what the heck a solar return is, the sun returns to where it was when you were born every year. It returns to the exact degree that the sun was at your moment of birth. And we do what we call a solar return. It creates a chart right for that moment, and it gives us a lot of information about how your year will be, okay? So that's what I was looking at for anyone who didn't understand what the heck I was doing. So as we go forward, what ends up happening is we are going to have activity of your Venus. So here it is active in the beginning of March. So let me give you a few dates here. Let's see here. Years is 2217, so we could go all the way back. 17. So it's active from March the 3rd and right through to March the 17th, so St. Patrick's Day. So the beginning of March, the first couple of weeks of March, would be a time for you to make sure you connect, get out, and visit with people, socialize, because you could end up meeting someone during that period in time. And Venus will be traveling through your house of love at the same time that's going on, so there's some real possibilities at that point. And it continues actually to be active. It's like there's a little break, and then it continues to be active again starting around the 21st of March right through to let's see here, right through to April the 13th. And I'll add something that during that period there's a possibility that you will connect in a way that actually you can find yourself becoming intimate with another person. So that's a powerful statement.
Yeah,
and,
because it's been years I put off because I'm not set in a career yet, and I'm taking a class which ends in a few months.
People do that, and I really recommend that, you make sure that you know what your focus is and allow yourself to be open to let love come in even with that focus. As long as you have your focus, you can have love come into your life and see the person as someone who supports your focus. Because if there's someone who is supportive of what you're doing, you'll continue to get your career underway. It won't be so distracted that you will not have a career. Instead, they should be a person who comes in and is very supportive of who you are and what you're trying to achieve and admires the fact that you're doing that. So don't shut it off. Give yourself the opportunity to have love come into your life. But these are key times for you, and then it will come back around because, like I said, Jupiter goes retrograde, as you heard me say to everybody else earlier. And when it goes retrograde, it will come back around. So let me bring it back. So here it becomes active again. October 29th, 2020. And it is still active on November 29th, 2020. So you've got a good run coming up. So make sure that you write those dates down and that you pay attention. Go out and socialize during those times. Don't say, well, I have to study tonight. Change the time that you're studying and make sure you go out and do your socializing, okay? Otherwise, you miss opportunities when they're best. Okay?
I know. I put it off for so long because,
Because you're Capricorn, I know. Capricorn is very
you
good.
Want to feel. Capricorns like to work. They like their career, their goal oriented.
And they like to know that they've got all their little ducks in a row. They build a very strong structure. That's what Capricorn does, and I don't deny your structure. I think that's very wise. But you also want to say, I don't want to miss opportunities when they open up. And so what you have to do is put that thought frame out that it won't be a distraction. It will be a support system. See a relationship as part of your support system. And if you can see it that way, then you can bring it in that way. Okay?
That sounds really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all, we manifest everything in our lives, and it's all manifested based on the way that we project it out to the universe. So if you project it out to the universe that the only way that I can be secure the rest of my life is if I do everything right now and set it all up right now, and I have to just put my nose to the grindstone now. If you do that, then the universe will support you in that. But if you say to the universe, I can do all of that and have the support system I want at the same time, and that will actually help me grow faster and be more secure throughout my life. Put it out that way, now you're attracting love into your life as well as building the structure. So it's all how we look at life, That's why I always, say when you're looking at life, make sure you're saying all the right things. Say to the universe, only the best of people come into my world, only the people who are supportive of who I am and help me out as I go forward in life, and people who I want to help out as well. And those are the kind of people who will come. So
gotta tie it up, Michelle.
I know.
I agree.
Good.
Because you want that balance.
Good fortune, and I hope you do meet someone who is going to be the right person for you, so you can have a joy.
What zodiac sign do you think is best for me?
I'm not going to get into that right now because it's just too involved. We don't just pick out a sign. It's so much more involved than saying, well, if you go with this sign, it's going to be good. The only thing that I can say is you do have a sun and a moon that are trine to each other, and they're in water and earth. So water and earth signs are good choices for you. I can say that. But you're going to pick out the right person because your mom and dad got along. You have an advantage over many of us whose moms and dads didn't get along.
Yeah, I find that fire signs are like players. They're kind of dominant people.
They're not really for you.
No, an air signs could be kind of cold, or they're not balanced.
Well, you have a preponderance of water and earth.
You guys, I'm so sorry.
But I'm going because Barbara's taking me away from you. Good luck. Take care.
I'm taking everybody away from you.
Oh, it's that time.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, but this happens every show. We get going, and then suddenly the board just fills up, and there's nothing I can do. There's only 120 minutes that I have of your time that I can dole out. But I want to thank you so much again for being with us and sharing all of your amazing wisdom and knowledge and abilities and talents and compassion and laughter, because you are a remarkable lady, and it's so kind of you to gift us with 2 hours every month.
Well, it's an honor too for me. So thank you for doing all the work.
Well, Ginny helped me a lot too. So it was two of us working the board here, but we look forward to having you back again next month, November. Oh my God. And And everybody, chalk up the date and call in early and have all your birth information. And for now, good night, Michele, and thanks so much for being with us again.